Thank you for tuning in to watch our Invest Greater San Antonio Leadership Summit. You're about to watch panel number 3, Classrooms and Community, the role of educators in preserving San Antonio's cultural character amid economic growth. Don't forget to like and subscribe to watch more leadership insights from CAA. Enjoy.
Good morning. Before I say anything else, let's see a show of hands. How many of people in the room have actually spent time in a school recently just for a visit or anything? Good. I would encourage you to get out there and see all the great work that's happening in San Antonio schools, because there are a lot of really wonderful things that are going on. I have the good fortune to kind of chair the last panel of the day, and I think it's important because what you've heard over the course of the morning is how important education is and how crucial it's going to be for the growth of San Antonio. Education has proven to be a key factor in the growth of San Antonio, and the region's leaders are tackling challenges that may hinder that productivity. In this panel, titled Classrooms and Community, the role of educators in preserving San Antonio's cultural context and economic growth, our panelists will discuss how education not only prepares the next generation of leaders, but also strategies to ensure they remain connected to San Antonio's rich heritage. So before we kind of go into the Q&A, Abel and Scott, how have you all introduced yourselves and let us know about your schools?
Good morning, Abel Chávez, president of Our Lady of the Lake University. I understand there's some of my colleagues in the room, faculty and staff. Thank you so much. And also our incredible leader of the Congregation of Divine Providence and Supreme Strategist, Sister Rose Krupa. Thank you, Sister, for joining us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Scott Brown, TMI Episcopal School. I'm just curious. I want to poll the room. I have some notes. How many of you wish when your leader spoke in public, they brought notes with them? And how many of you get really nervous when your leader goes off script? Maybe I'm the only organization, but I know my team is grateful that I have some note cards here. So I'm grateful to them and excited to be on this panel.
Thank you all. So first question, how are local schools and educators integrating San Antonio's rich history, arts, and multicultural roots into classroom learning to help students connect with the community as it evolves?
I'm happy to start. So TMI is founded in 1893. Bishop James Steptoe Johnston founded 2 schools in San Antonio in 1890s, TMI Episcopal and St. Philip's College. And we have a connection with those folks. Dr. Lawson and her team at St. Philip's were super proud to be associated with that institution. Over 20,000 students in St. Philip's today, over 640 students at TMI today. And we were founded very differently. We were founded as an all-boys school, and St. Philip's, was founded as a trade school for emancipated former slaves to learn how to sew. And I think about the history of our 2 institutions. We just spent time on that campus, and getting off our campus and visiting her campus was a gift to see what she's doing and what Alamo Community Colleges are doing to transform this community. 1893 is a long time ago. TMI is grateful for our legacy in the community. San Antonio, somebody said, 7th largest city in the country. And I think it was Parker who said, we're a small, big city. There are pockets in this community. You know this. There's Alamo Heights, there's Stone Oak, there's different neighborhoods within this community. And it's really easy to just stay in your community. 1604 means that I like to stay north of 1604. We're in the Rim, La Cantera area. And so it's really easy to just stay in your little niche in the community. We have a class that I'm thinking of called Religion in a San Antonio Context, in which we send our students out and about to get off of our campus, to go see other institutions, whether that's St. Philip's College or other religious institutions in town. Our students are visiting mosques, they're going to the Holocaust Museum, they're getting out and about to the missions. We want our students off of our campus so that they can experience the beauty of this city. We think we should love our neighbors. That's a given in our community. But it's best to know your neighbors first. So the more we can get our students off our campus, we feel like we're connecting them to the beauty of this city.
Our Lady of the Lake University, we are celebrating 130 years this year, and it's been a year-long celebration. Come out and see us, folks, on 24th and Commerce, just a couple miles from here. And back when the founding sisters imagine and envision this university, Our Lady of the Lake, which started as an all-girls school, you will notice once you visit us that our spire has a clock on 3 sides: the north, the south, and the east, not on the west. Why? Because the west, we never thought the founding sisters never thought that our beautiful city would develop out west, and boy, has it. And ever since our founding, which really is centered on 3 very important ministries: education, community service, and community health. So think about it, right? Cross-cutting themes throughout this morning in our conversations have been about building healthy and just communities and people who are well educated to participate civically and economically in the development of our current and our future, and the co-creation. And that's really what we do in the classroom and outside the classroom each and every day at Our Lady of the Lake University, through our service learning projects, through our faith-based education, so that our students, every one of them, can build a livelihood based on their values.
Thank you. How are educational institutions balancing the push towards STEM and workforce readiness with the need to preserve and teach cultural literacy and local history?
As an engineer myself, mechanical engineer undergrad, civil engineer doctorate with an MBA right in between, and also and I started at the community college myself. Science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, is absolutely near and dear to my heart. And very early on in my formation, my dad got me tinkering in cars, and so the element of art absolutely was integral to the tinkering of cars. And so I think about this question in terms of STEAM: science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and the ability to bring disciplines together to solve some of our most complex challenges of today. And so bringing it back to Our Lady of the Lake University, we see the various infrastructure challenges in the west side and throughout the city of San Antonio, throughout the region, throughout the nation, throughout the world. Efforts that our students get to tackle and be a part of each and every day through their coursework and beyond. And so just in the west side, think about it, folks: housing, energy, transportation, health, education challenges. Not a single discipline can tackle any one of those alone. And so the embedding, cross-cutting our disciplines, regardless if it's a biology major coming together with a business major to solve that complex, perhaps water quality challenge in the west side that our families are feeling today, right now, in real time, is how we are approaching STEM or STEAM and building our future leaders of our city, of our region, of our world, and always taking account the realities of our communities. In the west side alone, we have a mostly Mexican American, Spanish speaking community, and the ability of our students to be able to connect with the families and understand their lived realities is very important to solve our complex challenges of today and tomorrow.
Yeah, Billy, you're asking a great question. At TMI, we approach it from a both and, not an either or. Legacy and innovation. How do you have one hand in your history and one hand in your future? I think about Bishop Johnston, our founder, 1893, a Confederate lieutenant turned bishop who founds a school for little white boys and little black girls. Such a forward-thinking human being. It's the both and. And I think about on our campus today, as an example, starting next year, we will require all high school students to take 2 courses required for graduation from TMI starting next year: The first is called The Philosophy of Human Flourishing, in which students will have textbooks in their hand, ancient texts in their hand, reading from a book about what does it mean to be a good human being. It's an ethics course founded in our history and what does it mean to be good in the world. And then after you finish that course, the second required course will be Innovation, Design, and Technology, where you're looking at things like AI and how do I take those principles of good human beings and lean into what it means to embrace technology in the future. And I think it's that both and that we must always do, be super proud of our history and always changing and innovating for our future. Bishop Johnston did it, and we certainly need to keep doing it.
Thank you. Diversity and inclusion have long been strengths of San Antonio. How can educators and school leaders ensure that growth does not widen educational inequities, but instead uplifts all communities across the city?
I spoke about that in my earlier answer as a private Catholic institution of higher learning in the heart of our west side of our beautiful city. Thinking about how we make access to education equitable, and how we continue to drive value to our families, how we continue to drive a time and cost of degree completion, to continue to promote the livelihoods of our families is very, very important. And as the birthplace of Hispanic serving institutions, which the first convening of HSIs happened on our campus in 1986, that's core to who we are, to our DNA, providing families and our students from the most economically disadvantaged communities access to higher education, and ultimately that credential to live, like I said earlier, livelihood based on their values.
This is where I'm really proud of our name, TMI Episcopal. I mean, Episcopal schools are known across our country for being welcoming communities, respect the dignity of every human being. That's in our baptismal covenant. It's not an option. It's a requirement for being a good human being, is to respect the dignity of every human being. At TMI, we say all are welcome. And then there's a hard stop after that. All are welcome, period. Our recipe, our proven process at TMI, something every faculty, staff, student knows on our campus, is our recipe of cherish, know, challenge. And that order is super important to us. It starts with the foundation of cherishing. That means you have value because you exist. Because God made you, you are beautiful and you are loved, period. On a foundation of love, then we want to get to know you. What makes you tick? What does a good day look like? What does a bad day look like? I want every student, every human being on our campus to have 3-4 people that they know them. So once somebody knows that they're loved, and once somebody knows that they're known, then and only then can you challenge them from a healthy place. We've all had coaches or teachers that challenge, bosses that challenged us before they knew us and before we knew we were loved. And so that recipe of cherish, know, challenge is vital to us. If a human being feels like they want to be a part of a community, if a student is looking for a community that knows them, loves them, and then challenges them, if their values match with ours, then we want to make TMI accessible to them. We want TMI to be available to families that share our values, regardless of what part of town they come from, regardless of their socioeconomic background. We want to make ourselves accessible to families that share our values. And so when we look at our benchmarks for financial aid, for example, we want to be above the benchmark. We want to make TMI more accessible to families that share our values. Then once they're on our campus, we're going to push them off our campus. Like I said earlier, going to visit other institutions, going to visit other communities in the city. So it's that cherish, no challenge piece, and it's really the heart of Episcopal identity that has been true to Episcopal identity since the beginning of time, that helps us lean into that quest to be a more inclusive place.
Thank you. Now I have one question for each of you. Scott, I'll start with you. We have heard earlier today about the importance of public-private partnerships between private schools and the broader San Antonio community can play a powerful role in cultural preservation. How does TMI Episcopal collaborate with local organizations, artists, or civic leaders to deepen students' understanding of place and purpose?
When you've been around for 132 years, you've built some pretty long and lasting relationships. When you think about San Antonio, some of the names that arguably, and there are many, but arguably are on the Mount Rushmore of San Antonio, you think about names like the Frost family or the Ancira family or the Goldsberry family and what they've done at the Pearl and bringing the CIA to town. I mentioned those three names because all three of those folks, the Tom Frost, Kit Goldsberry, Ernesto Ancira Jr., are all TMI grads. And they're not just great leaders, they're great human beings. And what they did for this city and how they humbly served is a testament and an inspiration to our students. And so we know those families, and they're back on our campus, and they're telling the story of how they've built their family's legacy based on what they learned at TMI. And so I think connection to those families and to the many families that have crossed our campus is important. But I think the relationship I'm most proud of, maybe it's recency bias, but just about 10 days ago, there's an organization in San Antonio called Team Ability. And if you don't know Team Ability, it's remarkable. This is an organization that offices at Morgan's Wonderland, another gym in this city. Team Ability helps families with disabilities solve problems. And so for the last 3 years or so, when Team Ability has a client that has an issue, a challenge, something that they need to make their life better, Team Ability now comes to our students to help solve those problems. Through the Walker Innovation Center at TMI, our students are solving real problems for San Antonio families that otherwise would have a little bit harder time. So our middle school and high school students in the last couple of years have built remote control cars for children with disabilities. I can think of a 4-year-old girl who was on our campus not long ago with cerebral palsy who couldn't operate a toy car that you would normally get for Christmas. And our students fabricated, coded, built a car for this child so that she could drive around her neighborhood like her friends do. And to bring problems to our children and to let them solve them, it's remarkable. And I'm super proud of that relationship. I'm super proud that we can partner with Frost and Ancira and Goldsberry, but also with Team Ability and others. Whitney Houston said it great, right? I believe our children are our future. At TMI, we also think they're our present. And I would challenge all of you, if you have a problem that you need solving in your organization, there's a ton of bright people in this room and in your organization. But there's a ton of bright 12 to 18-year-olds in this community as well. Bring those challenges to them. Partner with us. Partner with these schools. Invite our students from Our Lady of the Lake, from Keystone, from TMI, from institutions in your neighborhood. Invite those children, those youth, to come to your campus, to your organization, because I guarantee you they've got ideas for how to solve them.
Thank you. Abel, what initiatives or academic programs has Our Lady of the Lake University launched that intentionally highlight San Antonio's history, arts, bilingual heritage as assets in preparing global citizens?
Scott, thanks again for that wonderful answer. Boy, what an inspiration. 12 to 18-year-olds are the present. Thank you for the work that you do. At Our Lady of the Lake University programs, we have quite a bit of art programs or programs in the arts. We have concerts, we have poetry readings, we have artists who are in residence at Our Lady of the Lake University. To give you one example, Dr. Octavio Quintanilla, who's the Texas Poet Laureate, his home is at Our Lady of the Lake University. We had a wonderful reception for Dr. Quintanilla 2 weeks ago. Incredible poet. He's at Our Lady of the Lake, and our students get to interact with the Texas Poet Laureate each and every day. We also have various centers. I'll give you one example. The Center for Mexican American Research, CMAS, is also the home of rich archives celebrating the cultural heritage, which is bilingual, biliterate, multilingual, multinational of our city. That lives at Our Lady of the Lake University. What an asset to have just a few miles from here. And in the classroom, bilingual, biliteracy is a very important part of our fabric. So imagine this, friends, every social worker or every business major or every you pick the major, right, can navigate the realities of our world, which is a multidimensional world, because that's how they are taught and that's how they are learning, absolutely throughout their upbringing, and that's further cemented and cultivated at their time during the time at Our Lady of the Lake University. And one last example. Our business faculty, I attended a capstone project just a few weeks ago where our business faculty are bringing all of these things crashing together in the reality and simulating a small project, entrepreneurial venture for our students at small groups where our students, they get to set up a new company. They get to do the human resources part of the company. They get to do pro formas of the company. They get to do all the business side of it, and then they pitch it to a group of sharks who not only critique them in real time, but also get to fund these initiatives also in real time. So thanks to Dr. Phelps and that amazing faculty group for doing that. It's very amazing work.
So I guess what I would conclude is San Antonio has an incredible resource of bright, motivated children and young adults. So if you have been in a school recently, thank you. If you haven't, please get and visit one. We really want to partner with the community so that all of our children and young adults can benefit, and ultimately San Antonio can prosper. Thank you very much for being here this morning, and thank you to CAA and Invest San Antonio for this great program this morning. Thank you, and hope you have a great day.